That's it, top of the mind, advancing through obstacles. We're back to the racetrack, folks. This side, there we go. Back to the racetrack, folks. Why? Because, well, April 2nd it begins. And that means there's so many things that need to be put in place to make this thing work. Right now, Pete Scalza and his team are out there, out in Epcal Park. They're out on the runways right now, and they're converting it over into this drag strip. Drag strip's gonna be an eighth of a mile, an eighth of a mile of pure fun, excitement, fantastic stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of revved up on the whole thing. Always been a car fan. Always enjoy that whole thing. I got my new partner over here. Whoop, that side, sorry, Yosemite. That side, Speed Racer with the Mach 5. Love that show. Always fun. I think I had a crash on Trixie, but hey, we'll save that one for another day. all those, all those video, TV shows, etc., etc. But yeah, the Mach 5, really cool. And his brother, Racer X. Who knew who Racer X really was? But anyhow, so April 2nd is where it began. April weekend, 5 days during the weekends of April, they'll be racing. And then it takes a hiatus. We're back again. They're back again in August. As I mentioned, I'm going to be out there. I'll be part of the announcing team. Really, really excited about the whole thing. But what is it really like? What is it really like? Now, there'll be a number of spectators. They're limited this year to 2,500 spectators. There's going to be cars racing there that are street cars, flat out street cars. You know, cars, cars you'd see every day of the week. And there'll be a couple of those cars that you see every once in a while going down the highway with making a little bit more noise, a little bit more noticeable, maybe with paint scheme, et cetera, et cetera. They'll be out there. And there'll be a few unique cars that will perhaps delight you in different ways. A few race cars that have mufflers added to it. This way they're able to race out there because all of the cars need to have a muffler. No exceptions to that thing. And all of the cars are actually cars. In other words, no motorcycles for this one. So there was one guy out there. There was a debate as to whether or not it was a car or a motorcycle. It was one of those cars. It was deemed to be a car with three wheels. The two wheels in the back and the one wheel up front. The debate might have been the other way around. Maybe it was two wheels in the front, one wheel in the back. I don't know. I think it's on the video over here. But all that kind of stuff, and also these junior dragsters, which were just unbelievable to see these things go. So if you come out to the track, what are you going to see? I can tell you what you're going to hear, but what are you going to see? You're going to see a whole bunch of people having a great time. You'll be able to walk through the pit area to go see these cars and talk to the people, the drivers, the family members of this whole thing. You'll be able to speak to someone who's as young as 6. Drag will be as young as 7 since it was a year ago, unless there's another new one showing up that's now as young as 6. We'll have to change it to as young as 7. And find out what it's like to get into that car. And they, full car, a dragster style thing. It was just unbelievable. The responsibilities, unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. But you can speak to someone as young as 7 or as old as, well, now that was 78 last year. We'll make it 79, this year. And what the differences and the types of racing that has been on Long Island ever since the Vanderbilt Motor Races, which was 100 plus years ago. Over 100 years ago, at Vanderbilt Motor Parkway. That Motor Parkway was actually a raceway. They raced the cars out there. Very dangerous. Absolutely incredible. And you could see some of those videos of those kind of cars that are still out there racing. The one that has the Vanderbilt Cup. I got to check the website on that one. But he's got the number 8, the Beast, totally black car. It's all cast iron. It's amazing how big this thing is. Had 2 people in the car, one driver, and then the mechanic. Shows you what cars have come now. Remember, the Motor Park was a long race. It wasn't a circular race at first. It was road races. So you brought a spare tire with you, and you brought your mechanic with you, and then you race that way. But so that car is in and around the area. Last time I saw him was at the Port Jeff Hill Climb. Yeah, Port Jeff Hill Climb. So if you're in Port Jefferson, right at the base of Danfords, you get the hill that goes up to Belterre. Well, that's where the hill climb was. And it wasn't just half the first time. That's an historic race also here on Long Island. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. And there's another guy. This when I do these shows at the top of mind. I wish I thought of it sooner. I would have had this information for you, but then I'll be able to show this stuff on future programs. But there's another guy that has got a racing museum, and he's got stuff in there that is just unbelievable. How far back it goes. Oh, it's just absolutely amazing. There's so much to talk about this stuff. Now, really excited about it? Absolutely. They get the entertainment. I'll show you that in a second. But let's talk about this business world, the business aspect of the whole thing. Now, I think a track out there will certainly be a benefit to some of the vocational trades, obvious ones. And if you want to hear more about this stuff, you can listen to yesterday's broadcast. That was on March 15th, where I spoke about it at a little greater length. And you can also show up at these various trade shows. The HIA trade show, May 26th, going to be there. We're talking about it there. Also, or at the track, by all means, find me. I'll be in the announcer booth. Happy to chat with you about this whole thing, especially if there's any time or any break time in between. Love to chat with you on camera. We'll broadcast it out for the people there, maybe even more than that. But with all the racing that took place on Long Island, all the different tracks, Freeport Speedway, Isis Speedway, Bridgehampton, and others, Riverhead, I was got to mention Riverhead, right? Riverhead Raceway, still going. And the businesses that were there to support those race cars and those teams, there were so many racing engine places, so many high performance engine places, let alone the body shops and everything else that goes along with it, including all the food trucks that showed up over there and all the vendors. Had the old Carvel ice cream truck that was there, the one with the big fenders on there. Oh man, I haven't seen one of those. Actually, I haven't seen one of those since not the last time I was in Riverhead. It was years ago, Riverhead. So it supports a lot of things, inclusive, of course, the business community, but also including, the tourist industry. And a lot of the tourist industry on Long Island is actually Long Islanders. We tend to think that's, oh, yeah, people flying in or coming from Connecticut and Jersey, Pennsylvania, which a lot of them probably will with the track strip out there, because a lot of the folks that are racing here on Long Island are going there. So why would they not come there? But what about us? What about all the different places us Long Islanders can go to and visit and do on Long Island without having to go over the bridge, without having to go over and take the ferry over to Connecticut? They're just right here. So many things, so many different sports venues, sports arenas, the hockey team, baseball teams that you can go see. The Ducks is right here, man. How great is that? Going over to some of the more professional stadiums also. Citi Field, you got that. The arena in Brooklyn, some of the stuff that they continue to create, let alone all the golfing that's here, the boating that's here. Can't forget the wineries and the breweries, and then even taking a trip to either Port Jefferson or down to Port Jefferson or down to Patchogue. I mean, that's a journey into the unique beer world in and of itself, especially down in Patchogue. Gosh, so many different microbreweries and stuff like that are showing off there. Showing off the thing. There's so many things to do here, so we got to enjoy that. Got to talk about that stuff a little bit more. So you got that aspect of it. But we're going to actually go on at the track, and let's see if we can pull up a few things here. I'm just going to go through my slides real fast on this one. There we go, Racetrack Knott Street. These are some of the photos that I took last year at the event. So we got that's what it looks like at the starting line. If you're in the spectator stand looking down that way, that's what you get to see. These are the dates. So the first one that are coming up is going to be April 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, and the 16th. They're all weekend days, and they are all daytime events. daytime events. So if you're going to show up with your car, believe inspection, and there is an inspection you got to go through. I believe they're opening up at 8 o'clock, and the races will be at 11 a.m. As that goes. No, I'm sorry, 1 o'clock. The gates open at 8. Racing, it looks like it'll be from 1 to 4 p.m. So if that changes, I'll certainly let you know as that progresses. But that's where that's at right now. Food trucks, got some different food trucks to enjoy. Soul Food was the one I picked out. Sponsorships that are there. A lot of companies down there sponsoring, which is great. This is our 78 now, 79-year-old gentleman driving that car. Known as street car. I'm not sure it's street car or not. I'm a little lost on the license plate there, but it looks like it definitely could be a street legal car. So a Tesla friend, that one you'll see on the road. This one, you'll see a very nice day, perhaps on the road. But and probably a different. Actually, I'm sure at different car shows. Here we go. I'm gonna make this work a little bit easier here. That one definitely on the road. You got the license plate over there. This guy, big fan of the whole thing. So this is the driver's meeting. Get down there early enough. You'll be able to see and listen to it because that's right there. That's the announcer's booth. That's right behind it. Let's see. Then these are the cars lining up in the beginning, and you can see, man, you got every different kind of car that is participating in this thing, and this is all the cars. This and all the way out to the left that are getting ready to go, and it goes quickly. I would say the cars, maybe one race every minute or so. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than that, but not much. So you get to watch these cars go. Obviously, it's an eighth of a mile track, so it's a short race time-wise for the cars to go down there. But as soon as they get going, the next set of cars are getting ready to go. They are warming up those tires and making it happen. Here's our junior dragsters. These things are just unbelievable. These kids, these young race car drivers are doing the whole thing. They're getting there, they're lining up, watching the lights, going down the track, dealing with what they got to deal with. Great stuff. There you go. Is where we get a little bit of noise going on there. But the cars revving up, warming up those tires, getting the rubber down, getting the heat in the tire. This way they don't spin the tire when they take off. And this is interesting, actually. That was something I learned as a car over at the finish line. But this was something I learned about the track and using this grip stuff on the track, which you'll see in many of the is a video we're going to play here too. Let's go back to here. The about the grip that they use or don't use actually, on the track. So in this case, they are not using any kind of grip that's going to be down there. It's just going to be whatever the natural rubber that gets left, by the cars. And Tom Wilson is going to do a few other things over there to get more rubber down on the road because the rubber creates its own level of grip. But no formula, no grippy stuff. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's going to be put down on the track. Hopefully, when I announce this thing, I'll call it something other than, hey, that grippy stuff. Yes, it's there. But anyhow, so that's it. So it's really interesting watching these cars go because the really high-powered cars, they have to be cautious when they take off because if they just take off at full power, the tires spin, and you go no place. So they have to, I'll say, kind of get a rolling start. Now, obviously, the light's red, and when it goes green, they go. But if they pull full power down immediately, the car's going to not go because the tires will go, but it's not going to grip. So they go a little bit slower and then, put full power down as they go down. So it's actually very interesting if you want to watch and see this thing from the driving skill point of view too. You think, I'm just going to stop playing this. All right. So you think it's just, point the car straight and the light goes green and you go. No, there's a lot more that's going on. One of them is that elapsed time. So you got the Christmas tree, and the lights will go from red, yellow, and then green. Of course, both cars have to be lined up, for this to go. And then you're going. So now the first thing that's a consideration there is the ET It's not an extraterrestrial. The elapsed time. The elapsed time. And what that really is that is the time it takes for the light, from when the light goes green to when you get that car moving. That elapsed time. And especially in the professional races where it's only 10 of a second, not even hundreds of a second, that is separating one car from the other as they're going down the track. Um, so that elapsed time could win or lose a race for somebody at that level. Over here, no, because the cars are not lined up, with exact specifications to each other. As you can see, these cars, it's people driving their cars, so they're not matching up a 6-second car against a 6-second car. There are and there will be different portions of this throughout different special events where you do get that bracket racing and things like that. But at this point in time, and I believe this was the opening day, at this point in time, they just, whatever two cars are showing up. So you got two cars that look similar, in speed over here. But two cars, it's just whatever two cars show up doing that whole thing. So that elapsed time won't make a difference from who wins or loses that particular race. But the bottom line here with this is that you're racing against yourself. You really are. You're going out there and you want to make sure that you're doing the best that you possibly can. And this really is a race against you. You're trying to do that best elapsed time and getting down the track at the right time. Shifting gears if it's a manual. Shifting gears also at the right time. So here these guys are going to they're going to get going here soon. They're going to get set up. I can make this sound a little bit louder. Up, and there they go. So again, you're really close from a spectator standpoint. This is more the team side of it that's over here. This is where the cars are lined up. The other side is where the stands are. And yeah, I mean, you're really super close. You could, if you got a good camera, even had a mediocre camera. I mean, this is, guys just using a phone camera over here. But if you got a camera with a telephoto lens, man, you can take some great shots, really, really great shots. And you got a perfect angle for it because you're, well, it depends where in the stands you're sitting. But you're 100 feet away, 102, 300 feet away, from it. And then the cars are going to go down the track, and they'll be right wherever you're standing sitting in the spectator stands. It's going to be right across from you. It's very difficult to get that shot because they are now moving pretty quickly. But you'll be able to get some phenomenal, really, truly phenomenal shots of this. So it's good. So if you're into photography, you definitely want to come down there. If you're interested in getting stories from people, boy, it's another thing too. I mean, if you're into the historical side of car racing, so many of these folks know it. They know it. They live it. They've been living it for years, decades. In the case with our 79-year-old, decades doing that thing. They'll talk about some of the places that they've raced, perhaps some of the illegal places that they've raced on parkways and stuff like that. Man, I was told by one guy,
lining them up.
Not at this event, it was actually at another event, was told by another guy that they would close. How they got away with this is beyond me. And this is years ago. So there's no way that this could happen now. But they would close down the Cross Island Parkway. They'd block it off from regular cars. Can you imagine that? And they would go racing down this thing, and then they would have trailers at the other end. So the cars would race, and then as soon as the race ended, they put the cars on trailers, and they would leave, I guess, before the police showed up. Now, I don't know. I don't think you can stop the cars. Obviously, it's totally illegal. You shouldn't do that. That's why you should come out here. Racetrack, not street. Oh, what they're showing over here is the pit area. Now that's going to change a little bit because they're going over to actually one of the larger runways, and the way it's going to be configured is that the pit area is going to be much wider, much bigger. So if you're walking the pit area, and this is a big spectator thing, if you're walking the pit area, you want to go see these cars, take photos, have conversations, talk about engines, talk about suspensions, talk about whatever you really want to talk about. It's going to be a shorter walk because the way this one was,
remember, you can still buy tickets
is when you came down there,
looks like a washout.
you had to go
But
you're walking a quarter of a mile, if not even more, because that's how long
you can only get in if you guys buy
it
tickets,
was in
whether
order
you're
for you
racer or
to
spectator.
get
So just
down
make sure
there
you guys buy
to go
tickets.
see all these cars. In this case,
Go
it'll
to
be a much bigger parking
racetracknotstreet.com.
area and that kind
Be
of
a
thing.
part
So
of
that
this.
should be pretty
I mean,
interesting.
this is awesome.
You know, I should give credit to the person who
Absolutely
did this
awesome.
video too. And I just jumped on to Facebook to pull that up, and we'll make
Got a
sure we
lot
get
of
credit
cars.
there. Which do. Yeah, look at that. That is something. Let's see if we
This is
can
just staging.
maybe speed this up a little bit. I don't think I can. Oh, you got another minute and a half left in it. All right, we'll go the other minute and a half and then go there. We got, like, I mean, cars are great, people are great, the families that are down there are great. Oh, you should be able to see the spectators section here too. If you look over the top of the cars, okay, it's a bit of a walk. Obviously, I guess this guy was like a little bit bored waiting around.
Because
Like, okay. But it goes quick once the races get going. It definitely
today,
moves along.
It
moves along quickly. There's going to be, there's the one with the parachute. And I think this was the ugly duckling car. But the guy with the parachute, that probably races that car at other 8th mile, maybe quarter mile tracks. So this one is only an 1/8 of a mile track. So you don't need the parachute. You're not going that fast. You get to about 100 and there was like 115 was the speed limit last year. That might have changed. There's some rules that have changed too. So I got all these safety equipment folks are here.
Tickets for tomorrow. They're going to be good for
there you go, John Montecarlo. He's he races professionally.
A little here this morning trying to get this all set up, but you'll be good. It's not like you guys, you don't have to get a refund or anything. You can.
Yeah, so the spectator stands, there we go. They're right there. We're just going to stop this for a second. That's the spectator stands over in the back there. So the cars are lining up over here. That's the announcer booth. Cars are lining up over here, and then they're racing down the track that way. So you're really close, which is nice. Really protected, too. You got these big concrete barriers that are there, and then there's space, and then there's a fence. So that side of it is fine. All right, let's play the rest of it here. Here we go. We got a couple of cars on the move.
This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, this is the first day doing it, so they're getting the whole thing all put together. I like these are all street cars. All right, here we go.
Place is packed.
A little volume going on here. Big thank you to Riverhead for making this
Riverhead,
happen.
Police, ambulance. Got some of the old cars from West Hampton on display, which is pretty cool.
West Hampton was the dragway. That's Eagle Chevrolet. This photo I took the other day.
John Montecarlo in the house.
Yeah, look at that. John brought his car down there that day. Nice.
Yeah, JTM, Eagle Chevy.
The sponsors coming back. There you go. That was a burnout.
Got a lot of great sponsors. Everybody that's helped out, donated.
And I think this is John Consoli that's doing this one. All right, there we go. Let's stop the sharing over there. Let's get back to StreamYard over here. Let's get back to you and I, and this one. Fun stuff. I got to tell you, real fun stuff. So tickets like $25. You can walk the pits, all fine. Bring a camera. Without a doubt, bring camera. I can't stress that enough. Bring a camera. Not only that, bring the kids. I gave tickets to a friend of mine last year. I was like, I don't know if you like car racing or not or whatever. His son is, I'd say 5 years old, maybe 6, something like that. And I was like, you want to go? Go. My compliments. This is with Keith, who turned me on to comedy and all the rest of that stuff. What a big, totally great impact in my life on that one. So Keith went with his son and had a ball. I hope you two have a great time when you come down there. Make sure you say hello. Let me know you're going too. And remember, friends, when you're out there, do what you can. Just do what you can. Do what you can. Enjoy it. Help somebody out. Do something. Just help wherever you possibly can. And make sure you're having a good time doing it. Or do whatever you possibly can to enjoy yourself as that happens. And you know what you need to do. Speak well. Speak often. Live inspired. And maybe go race a car. All right, let's go. Tomato in the end? Yeah, why not? What do you think, Speed? Tomato in the end.